It's so good to be here tonight. And as you can see, I'm alone. Miss Bubbly Brown Sugar, she says she's getting ready for a vacation. Temperance is all out. So it's just about me. And I got one who's sitting on the sideline. She's going to kick in. You know, she's like the sixth man. You know, she comes in when ain't nobody else available.
I
So
need you to come on in the room, pretend like you Bubbly Brown Sugar, and do your rendition.
Girl, I know you done lost your man. You up there, you know, nobody, I tell people, nobody never asked me to sing. And when you notice when they sing, I never sang in that. Because I'm like, if y'all doing this good, I don't want to mess y'all up. And you get asking me, come on in the room. Come on in the room.
Okay, see?
I started this, so you know you got me started. I started to do the verse. But it's all about something I told them, and I'm trying to be true to it. I told them that you never ever know when you're gonna have to stand, and you're gonna have to stand alone. And it's true. It's so true. And do you be scared? Yes. You're gonna be scared. Yes, it's gonna be frightening. Yes, you're gonna want to quit. But at the end of the day, you just got to keep walking. Because honestly, the people that's watching you thinking they wish they could do what you do. And all you got to do is just do it and let the chips fall where they may. I'm sitting here tonight and I feel excited. I came excited. And so what I decided to do once I found out they wasn't coming, I had to change my format. I had to change stuff around. So if I hit it, I'm gonna be all over the place. You know how I am. So if I say something, jump from it, come back to it, just say, no, don't worry about it. She by herself. So don't worry about it. Give me a pass today. And just let me be me. And I figured the only thing that I know of that I could just sit here and talk all day, and that ain't even an issue. But to say something that's meaningful, that would bring meaning, I figured I ought to try to say something. And the best thing I can do is go from my job. That I could talk all day about. But what I wanted to do first is to give you a little analogy. And this analogy, it came from actually my job as well. I have these beautiful plants at my job. And the plants, I don't know what they is, and I'm not a green thumb. I already know that. But these green plants at my job, they are so beautiful and they grow. They grow all over the place. I done created more plants from one plant. So I decided I'm gonna take some of these plants home and you know do them, make my house just like the job to be beautiful. Everyone I take to my house, they die. And I said, wonder what I'm doing. And I took another set there and it died. So every time I take the plant home, I do a little different, watered it a little more, watered it a little less, it still died. Just the other day, out of nowhere, I'm sitting in my office and I said to myself, I know why the plant died. One reason they die, there's plenty of light in my office. Lights are everywhere. Secondly, they get water frequently. Thirdly, they get a lot of attention. Everybody talk about how they look. The students come in and they're laughing and playing. The doctors are everybody. Everybody comes in. So it made me know when you bring it to life that at my house, the atmosphere shifts. There's much not light. Sure ain't a whole lot of talking. And the life ain't that much life there. Nothing but me and the dog, and ain't none of us talking. We just looking at each other. So I found out I had changed the atmosphere, they surrounding, what they was used to, what they was used to getting, and their energy was zapped from them. So I said, at home, there's none of that. And so I brought that to the day's life and to the day's word. God is the light. He said, I am the light, the truth. And I am it. So all you need to do is you get him to be the light. He said, I'm the light. He said, I'm your lamp to your feet, but I'm your light to your pathway. So all you got to do is get him the light. And not only that, he said, I'm the water that spring forth. and I'm the living water. And if you drink of me, you'll never thirst again. So all you had to do is know that the plants needed the light, and we need the light, which is his light.
And just like the plants will thrive
They'll
if
thrive.
given.
You will thrive when
Mhm.
you can get the light and you can get his water. Because he said you'll never thirst no more once you get this water. Because this is a living water. And you would live and you would prosper. And the life would be in you. And your energy will come. So there's so much to take from it. No matter what you see or surrounding you in today's life, you wonder what's around you that's zapping your energy. What is you connecting with that's draining you of everything you've got? What is you connected to that is not beneficiary to you? Bring no light to your life. Bring no water to nourish you, to bring you back. Because something could zap your energy. The atmosphere has to be
And
set.
sometimes you need to go back to where the light and the water, where it all is,
Come
where you
on, baby.
thrive at.
Come on. Because sometimes you stray away. And sometimes you think you know.
You think
Sometimes
you'll be better in
you
this
think you
location.
will be better if you got a bit different place. And you said it, and I promise you, you could have stayed right there. Sometimes you think, oh, you looking over here at they grass and don't know they grass is counterfeit. They it ain't counterfeit, it's what false.
We know what you mean.
It ain't real grass. You know, you looking over in somebody else's yard and thinking, if I get over there,
It'll be green. I'll
it,
be green
or it'll
too.
be,
I'll live.
oh my God, it'll be better over there. And don't realize what you had was good enough. You just had to
It
get the
gave you
light.
everything you needed.
It gave you everything you needed. All you needed was the light and the water, and you needed to know what type of water and what type of light, and you can thrive. And that's why so many of us right today, and I'm just saying this, and I could be off. That's why a lot of us today is not thriving the way we ought to, because we done turned away from the things that got us there. Sometimes like you said, you got to go back to your first love. Go back to the things that made you, brought you, that got you the way you at. But no, you got up, you got big, you saw the lights, you thought that everything that the parents gave you, it that was old time, that was old fogey. They didn't know what they was talking about. Yes, those old peoples knew. They knew they had it together, and they knew it with no finance. They knew it without no knowledge. They knew it because they got it from the right resource. And you ought to go back to the right resource so that you can get a little bit of what they had. So yeah, Wanda, you're right. Sometimes you got to go back to the root, because if you don't know where you've been, you won't know where you're going. And oh yeah, things changes. You get an updated memo, but at the same token, you're supposed to take what they gave you and add. You don't lose what they give you. You don't.
You don't lose the water and the
No,
sun and the
no.
all the basic things
The
you need to
basics
survive.
to survive. You don't lose that. You may get go on and get you an Italian beef and all that stuff to go, get you some crumbs or something to go along with it. But you do not lose the one thing and the main ingredient that got you to where you at.
And if like you said, if you stray away, then you know where you need to go back to.
Find your way back home. There's an old saying that said, I'll just keep a light burning in the window. And when they said that, those old people didn't mean uh, just for fun. They meant that this is somewhere you can always find your light. You can find some good water. You can always get back here. But most of the time, we stuck, we pride, we don't want nobody to know. We selfish, and we don't want to get down and tell people, yeah, I done went to the watering hole and I got to find my way back. No, we have to do that. And one is there anything else you want to add to that
No,
subject?
I think I love that analogy because that it really it it can go in so many different directions, and but the answer's still the same,
So
so people can find fit it how it fits their life, if it fits at all, or if it doesn't. But if it you can find it, you can see that that's a basic story, and I think that's very helpful because a lot of times, and don't be too prideful or ashamed to turn back and go back where you came from, that fed you and gave you light. That if that's what you need to thrive, go where you thrive. Go back to what made you who you are. What made you that green plant that grew so large and don't be afraid to go back there. I love that message.
That is. And like you said, you can take that same message and flip it to over to what it to fit your life, to fit your way of thinking. And I keep telling everybody, you know what, sometimes that's what I try to bring to the podcast. And if I don't get it straight, because I'm so grateful because I done jumped in and started talking. I do that. Sometimes you have to tell me, hold up, wait a minute, because I'll get there and then I won't think about it. But and you listen to Miss V and it was the crew, and they coming back. It's just that today they just left me holding it, and it's okay. It's okay, and I mean, and I'm blessed to have Wanda who says that you'll never be alone. I got you. Ain't that's a blessing?
I'm the
That
other Wanda. There's two. Y'all, the producer. I'm the producer Wanda. There's a Lawanda who you missed her voice starting off.
I'm
But
trying to
did
tell
you
you.
hear Miss V? She was holding it down, talking about I don't sing. Next thing you know, she crooning us. We swaying like
Whereas I'm I-
okay.
I'm tuning up.
She just singing in the
No,
background.
I'm just so grateful, and I think that it was all befitting for you to come in because you made something even more spectacular happen because you be thinking that you alone, but how many times you can look at it and you say you ain't never alone. And that can go so many ways. You'll look up and you thinking that you're standing, but you don't even realize you got an audience all behind you. You got somebody cheering you on. You got somebody telling you you're gonna be okay. Don't worry about it. And we tend to not see that.
I agree. We tend to not see that everything we've been doing has built us up for this moment. That all
Yes,
the times you've been doing this show with your crew has led you to now. You may not have felt like, oh, I can walk in and do it by myself, but this prepared all of those times, prepared you for this
for
moment
this
to walk in
moment.
here. And I'm telling you, she came in here very boldly and ready, no fear. No, oh, I got to do it by myself. No, that wasn't the old. If I could tell y'all the Miss V and the crew, the Miss V of old would have probably turned around and went home. But no, she was very confident about it. She later work out. Okay, this is what we're gonna talk about. She was prepared, and that's why we have to be mindful that we're always being prepared for that
Mhm.
time to stand alone. That all the times when others stood with us, it prepares us for that time that when we're on our own. She's thriving.
Yeah, I mean, and it just so happened that I was just at work and it just came to me because I promise you when you look at a plant and you see it and you're seeing it growing, you don't realize all the ingredients that it takes to thrive. And I'm just sitting there and it just came to me all of a sudden. You're gonna need you. It got everything is needed right here in this office. It has the light, it has the water, and it has the energy and the peoples to excite. And at home it does not have it, and that's why that energy do not takes to the plants. So sometimes you got to find out what's zapping you, what's taking you
Really
away from
take
you.
account for all the how you notice you were able to pinpoint what is different from this spot from that spot where you were
Beautiful.
able to say okay, the light is brighter and more people and more that you were able to. And sometimes we have to take account
Take
like
an
that for our
inventory.
lives, take inventory of what is different. Why am I not happy in this situation but I was then? What we how you took inventory is what we sometimes have to do for our lives, is take some inventory
You
and
do.
see what is different in this moment and how do I then fix it and go back to the source.
I agree. I totally agree that it, and we could stay right here on this very subject because it when you get older you think that you have it all together and you think I know, but I think you are constantly in a learning process, and only you and you would only know is when that season. I asked one of the girls at work and I said, have your circle became smaller or has it became larger, and why? And I was going to ask that to the crew. And since the crew is not here, Wonder, you answer the question. Have your circle, as the older you've become, has your circle became smaller or larger?
I will say I've always been, just by nature, someone who's had a small circle of my core friends I've had since grammar school, high school. They're the same people. And
Mm,
I tend not to be one who goes too far out. I have no problem meeting people and I know they're out there, but my core stays my core people. So because I've always, but you bring up a a question, or you make me think of something my eighth grade teacher told me. She told me, your circle is too small and that's not going to benefit you later in life. And that haunted me when she said that, because I'm not a real big meet a lot of new people person. I have my same crew that's been my crew since
Okay.
eighth grade, since I was 12. Um, so I don't know. Has your circle gotten smaller,
You know
larger?
what? But this is one of those things we just talked about. Their size of coins, and which side of the coin fits you. Because I was gonna tell you that obviously when you get older, a lot of your friends pass on, and then a lot of them they grow, and it's not, and some of them they remain. But I would say that my circle has actually gotten smaller, and I think that, and it's for a lot of reasons. Some people outgrow each other, and some people's they can get busy in their own lives, and trying to navigate their way through their own life. That they It's not that they not trying to be in your circle, but it's
Life
one
lives. I mean, it
life
takes you in different
is
directions. And
exactly
when you're taking care of your own circle, your private familiar circle, is doesn't leave a lot of time sometimes to do a lot of reaching out. But have you found with some of those people you can catch up like it never no time has
like if
passed
no
between
time
you?
has passed. It's like when you do catch up with them, it's like you can just start right there and just and feel like you've been seeing each other since yesterday. So yeah, it's like that, and I figure I don't have no problem with the small circle. I tells my kids that I am um I'm a I'm popular loner. I'm popular, but I'm alone.
I guess
I'm a loner.
that's how
Yeah,
I've never had a big circle, but I still know and am friendly with
hmm
everybody. I'm sort of like that too. It's
yeah,
uh I don't know about what I use popular, but I know what you're talking about. Like
hmm
you could go in any circle, have fun with them, but you're still gonna be kind of to yourself.
to yourself.
I'm kind of similar.
Yeah.
That I've never looked at it. That I've had a big circle. I don't. I'm more kind of gonna always pull off to myself, sort of, but enjoy the company of the big circle when I have
Yeah,
it.
I think that it's kind of necessary that you, um, when saying that, is because everybody has a season, and I don't think, and we talked about that when we were first here. Everybody don't recognize which season it is because they say if you're in the right season, you can produce a harvest. So sometimes you have to know what season you're in. Because I was talking to the young lady and I was telling her about so many things that you can do. I said, because supposing I come to the podcast with some Daisy Dukes on and some hot pants and stuff. She said, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. I said, oh yeah, somebody gonna say something. And I said, because they gonna realize that I should realize when I look in the mirror, I know that ain't it. That ain't gonna work for me. That season of me doing that has passed. And don't nobody know it, really, really. I guess a lot of people can see it, but the only person is you. You will know when you look at it and you'll say, no, that ain't me. I can't do that, because you will be convicted. You will be, it's a something in you that's going to make you change clothes 3 or 4 times, because you going to say, no, that ain't right. That ain't what it.
Do you think everybody feels that way?
You know what? I think that some people's lie to themselves. We can fool some people some of the time, but you can't fool everybody all the time. And you should not be fooling yourself none of the time, because you can look at yourself and a rankle that done came. When your eyesight have gotten dim. One of the things that just bothered me to the core, I used to have 20/20. I said, yeah, you can just always get somebody my eyesight because I can see. I can see. I went to a grocery store and couldn't even see the prices on the shelf. I almost cried. I had to realize your eyesight is getting dim. The things you used to do, you just can't do no more. And people can say, yeah, well, the things I used to do, I don't do no more. Yeah, you ain't doing it because you don't want to do it. You're doing it because you can't. It's some stuff you can look at and say, oh, I ain't the person I used to be. You can't. I don't go to places I used to go. You can't. You cannot, you don't even feel comfortable in those places. You don't even feel yourself in those places. So ain't no need of you trying to pat yourself on the back because you ain't doing what you used to do. You can't. Do you not good it would be if I could just get up and put on some stilettos and put on, because I know what they do for you. They make your legs look good. They give you a walk that's sure
I
enough
miss my
or turn ahead.
stilettos.
But you can't. I tried. You can't do it. Your leg hurting, you flipping, now you can't walk, you tipping, about to fall over. No.
Twisting your ankle.
Yes. So it's some stuff you can't do it no more. And don't get mad,
Be
but
grateful for the season you were
be
able to.
grateful for the season when you did. I used to wear them. Oh, I used to build like a brick house. I used to turn heads when I walk. I used to. And now I'm not mad because you is. I'm not mad because you doing it. I had my day. And now I'm in another season. And this season is the best season because I'm embracing it. I'm not mad. I'm not mad because the hair falling out and
You
turning
got a
gray.
lot of messages today. So the next message is embrace the season you're in. Embrace your
Oh,
season.
I wanted to you pump me up. I told you don't do that. It'll go straight to my head, and before you know it, don't do that. I mean, hey, calm your roll, baby. Some people you can do that, but some you mess around and they'll get beside themselves. They'll get talking kind of crazy. Girl, I done jumped all over this place, turning cartwheels, thinking I still got it. But I just know that when you get where it's like a fish. When you know the fish is out of the water, he's not he flipping, he's flattening, he'll eventually die because he realized he out of his environment. But you put him in the water, he has no rivalries. He has no competition. He ain't got nobody to come. I have nobody to compete with. I have nobody. Can't nobody walk in my shoes. Can't nobody do what I do. So why would I be jealous of somebody doing them? No. Embrace where you at and know that this is the best season in my life. My harvest is greater. And love is not love until you can give it away. Whatever you got and you holding it to yourself, you are cheating yourself because whatever you got and you give it, it comes back double fold. It's just like the harvest when the man was planting seeds. And if you know anything about it, if you throw seeds, they land everywhere. If you throw them out, they're going to land in between the bricks. You know how you're walking and all that grass growing up in the bricks. And if you're walking in, you got the stones and the some is in the stones. And then you put them on the path. The birds come down and eat them. But how do you know when you put a seed in good ground? He said, when you put it in good ground, it multiplies. It can grow 10, 20, 100 folds if you plant it. And all you got to do, keep throwing seeds. You worrying about where they land, keep throwing seeds. Because you don't know the good ground is. Because you could say that ground is good and it's hard as a brick. You don't say that's good ground. It's been ate up with mice. So you don't never know what a good ground is. All your job is to throw the seed. And if you throw it, you thinking about, I always tell them, and I tell them this at work, you be looking at 10 doors and there are 9 doors that's open. But you will look so much at that one door that's
And wonder what's
closed.
behind there. Think you supposed to
Oh,
be behind that door.
oh. And you would focus on that one door. You won't even see all the 9. And that's how we are. The door that's closed, you wonder why that ain't open. Why that ain't doing it?
Why
Or
didn't
you
they
got
invite me in that
why
door?
they ain't why I can't go in that door. Why that's the door with and then all of a sudden you'll get that door and that door say, you ain't nothing. You ain't never gonna be nothing. You ain't been nothing. Your mama wasn't nothing, your daddy ain't nothing. And you'll look at that door, you won't even see these 9 saying, they're so
Come
much
on
great.
in.
Come on in here. Give me what you got. I want it, but you'll be too busy looking at this one say, you ain't got nothing to offer. Don't nobody want to hear you. Don't nobody want to talk to you. You talk too much. And this one over here said, talk. Let me hear you talk. I'm speaking from experience. You got them. Oh, I got them every day. Now, you ought to stop talking. I was told that I'll find a husband if I stop talking. But then I said, and I had to flip that strip. Whoever want me, gonna want me talking.
Right.
He gonna tell me,
He
come
gonna
on
go,
in.
where's her voice? She
Yeah.
looking for you. You waiting.
He gonna be looking for me. He gonna be saying, "Come on in here, baby, and talk to me." I know you. I know that. So you have to change your channel of thought because if you focus in on somebody that is talking and you looking at that one door, you won't see the 9 that's open. So always leave yourself open so that you can see what's right in front of you. Because most of the times we look somewhere else for blessings and we look somewhere for what's for us. And sometimes what God got for you is right in front of you.
getting watered there.
Oh, you
You
got it.
thriving there.
Oh God, it's right there.
You don't really realize you thriving where you are because you're so busy focused that thinking you should be over there
Yeah,
behind door number 10 if it's closed.
exactly, exactly. Wanda, you keep it up, baby. I'm gonna tell you to take the mic and let me just talk and let me listen to you. But that is so true. So it's so many things that we could sit here, and I mean, so many things go so many ways. Because I asked myself when I was talking about this, is that somebody how you feel about this? A person who never ever had any direction, never. I was listening to a young lady who lost her daughter, and the man that killed her. It was a girl. He killed her. She said, "I feel sorry for her for him that nobody watered him, nobody poured into him, nobody invested in him, and nobody did anything because I did all that to my daughter." So, do you think, and this is just a question, do you think that a person that never had any of that, he never had nobody to pour into him, never had nobody to look out for him, his family, mother and father, both was on drugs, he he's in and out of the jail system, the prison system. So do you figure how long would you give him a pass of not having this water poured on him, or not having this nourishment? How long would you say you will give him to a certain age, or you don't think there is a certain age?
I don't know if I could get past that. He killed my daughter. I don't know if he get a pass at all. I, he hasn't raised me to that level of forgiveness, and I understand the forgiveness is for me when you forgive others. I understand that premise, but I don't know. I've never been put in that situation, so I'd have to see how God would lead me. But I don't know how to if I could rise above that. But I do realize that hurt. They say hurt people hurt people. So if he's never been uh taught to love, and so how long would I let him get a pass with it? Hmm, till he real till he realizes it's wrong. Shouldn't you know right from wrong? I don't know. I'm struggling with it. I'm struggling. I'm sorry.
Well, and you know what? And some of that stuff you try to be honest, because ain't no need. Most time people's, and I find this in all walks of life, people's try to say the things that they know you want to hear instead of being truthful. And I prefer, because wouldn't you prefer somebody that was honest to you? And even if a man tell you, for instance, you know what? I don't want you to be my number one woman. I'm gonna just have a couple of you, and then if you do you want to stick around, good, but you ain't gonna be the number one. Wouldn't you rather somebody tell you that
I
than to just cheat
prefer
on you?
them to tell me that and let me make the decision for myself whether I want to be involved in that or not. But I need them to realize that I do have a choice. Because some people will give you a choice and get mad that you chose not to do what they wanted you to do. And that they'd have to realize that I may opt out. I may say, "No, that's not what I'm looking for." But they tend to get mad because I told you I was honest, and you mad. Like with the honesty should mean that now, like for that man, that I told you I had a hard childhood, so you should be okay that now I've done this because I had a hard life.
Yeah. I actually heard this, and this young man said this. He said, "My wife should have knew I was going to cheat because my daddy cheated. Everybody cheated in my family. So what she expect? I wasn't going to cheat." I'm like, people just they can say some of the craziest stuff, but now his wife wasn't there. I said, "Yeah, I wonder would you had the same conversation if she was sitting here." You know, you we. I don't know that, and I'm speaking because this is a truth series.
So what would
The
you
young
do?
with this young man with this young man, there is no I'm you can have a bad life. And I promise you there are so many people with that same story. You are not the first, and you are not going to be the last. And I don't know how long you would want to hold on to an excuse like that, or feel sorry for yourself like that on how the mother didn't do her part and the daddy didn't do their part. After some years, trust me, you got to stand on your own, and you got to make some decisions. And if what you've been doing has not gotten you where you wanted to go, It's up to you to change direction. It ain't up for your mom and daddy no more. It's up to you. Whatever I've been doing, it ain't working. So let me try something different. Now, that's on you, not your mama, not your daddy. Because I do know for a fact, having a bad mama and having a bad daddy and seeing all this all of your life, that is trauma. And it is devastating. But trust me, there are more people that pour into your life than just your mom and daddy. People's are, you ain't your only children's teacher. Your children's is being taught every day by uncles, aunties, schools, uh, uh, with the social workers,
Life will teach you lessons.
life. So don't tell me that you just looked at two bad peoples
And
and you decided I'm gonna be just like them. No, you got to come better than that. You got to give me something better to work with. Because if that's all you got to go on, if that's all you looking at, then hey, what about the good mamas that got bad kids? They had good mama, good daddy, and they turned out. No, you got so many peoples that's pouring into your children's life. The the biggest thing that you hope is that my voice meant weighed in the most. That when I said, it mattered. Oh, I had kids many times come in and tell me, "Oh, well, they doing it over at Son's such a house, dude. This is this. What house is this? Who is your mama? That's their house. This is this house. This is how I roll in this one,
that my
and in this
children
one,
did that often.
come on. And in this house, it ain't but one chief, it ain't but one cook, and it ain't but one captain, and that's me.
Their mother let them go.
Yes, yes. I want to do what's the name? Do it. I don't care. This how I gonna roll in this house, and until you and you have to do it, because at some point, like we talk about it all the time. At some point, they gonna get this. The old people used to say they gonna start smelling themselves, and when they start smelling themselves, they want to try everything. They gonna try you, try the teachers. I mean, it's they trying everybody they can, but you gonna have to be the strongest voice, and you got to be like, come on with it, you better enough. And if you raise them prayerfully, the word will start speaking to them, because now they don't only fear you, they fear God. And when they fear those of wrath that's coming that they don't even know coming, because he said, I'd rather for man to whoop me than for God, because those he love he chastise. And you have to be careful on what he do. Do you know the people that I surround myself with? I could probably do a lot of crazy stuff because they probably wouldn't care. They love me like that. They probably wouldn't even care. But I have to know that I have to be able to look in the mirror myself. And I have to know that I'm got to be accountable to somebody other than myself. So I have to try to make sure I maintain that type of credibility, and make sure that I'm trying to sustain that. Is he pleased with me? And your children will honor that. All the time, maybe not. But if it's in them, he said it'll come back. And you just have to keep trying and keep putting it in them. And I know these kids, we see it every day. We see kids that you know better.
They have to want it for themselves. So
For
instilling in
real.
them to have that pride to want it for themselves.
You have to want it for yourself. And that's what I say about this young man. At some point, and did you have a bad upbringing? And that I hurt for. And I feel bad that kids, have to wrestle with the fact that the person that's supposed to love you, care for you, and take care of you don't know how, or don't care, or whatever the case may be. Maybe they tried and it didn't work. Maybe they didn't know how themselves, or maybe they fell short along the way, or maybe something hit them, knocked them down, and they just wallowed. You never know. But at some point, that situation ought to, when you woke up and said, I want to be better. I don't want to be like that. I want to be a better person. And you have to strive for that. And just like the plant, you got to know where you belong. Fix your environment. Channel that energy. What's draining you? What's drawing from you? So you have to every now and then. And one of the things that I tell my kids at work, because I get like 10 students that come to me. And these are not just ordinary students. These are students that's about to be doctors. And so when they come to me, I purposely purposely sit at my desk and don't say nothing. After I sit there for so long, and when they come in, and this is no joke, they passes me without speaking. And I love it. They passes me. And when they get through passing, and after all of them have gotten back there and sitting down, it's usually about 10. And so when they all get in there and sit down, I use that as a teachable moment. Because the first thing when I go in there, I tell them, first of all, I don't, titles and all that stuff behind names mean nothing to me because respect does. And I said, and I know the ones that didn't, and I don't even name them. I don't call them out. I don't put them on Front Street. I just say it's my teachable moment because somewhere along the way, I know you saw me. Why do you didn't speak to me? Why you didn't say hello? Why you didn't even smile? Why you didn't, and you coming into my house and don't speak? Somewhere there's not been either training, somewhere you was in a hurry, you was trying to get where you was going, didn't know where you was, or you was in a you scared, you in a hurry, whatever the case may be.
What is the answer typically from them?
They is, you could hear a pin drop in the room. Nobody is gonna say, I'm sorry, that was me. No, they're gonna do that. You could hear a pin drop, but I don't want them. And I tell them, don't even say nothing. I don't even want you to, I don't even try to explain it. Because I said, first of all, you saw me. And I said, and
They
you
know
don't,
who they are.
they know, you know. I don't have to name nobody, you know. So when I tell them that, I said, first of all, you never ever, the first person you ought to at least smile. And you ought to say good morning because you coming into my house. You don't never know what that smile or that hello would have done for me. You could have probably made my day. I could have came in feeling bad, feeling despondent, feeling all out crazy. And just your way of talking to me could have changed my attitude, could have changed my perspective. In fact, if you had just spoke, but no. And I tell them, never ever look down on anybody because you don't think they're the person you need. None of you knew I was going to be your preceptor. None of you think I was going to be to give you your orientation. Not one of you knew that. But the same one you didn't speak to, the same one you didn't acknowledge, is the same one you got to talk to. Never look down on anybody unless you're trying to pick them up. Because just because of where you at today, you don't know where you're going to be tomorrow. This same situation that is that you seeing on somebody else, it can be you. So you have to be careful because you are finna be doctors. You finna go to the bedside of somebody. And that bedside you going to could be a person that is in there wondering, is they going to even make it? What their prognosis going to be? Am I going to, what kind of, what you going to tell me that's going to change my day? You could change that person's
just
attitude.
from that, it makes them feel comfortable to listen to you.
Just your
yes.
just your conversation.
Bedside manner.
Bedside manners. You can, I'm trying to change what you finna go to. Because when you doctor on me, you doctoring on 3 children's. You doctoring on grandchildren's, great grandchildren's, sisters and brothers and aunties and nieces and stuff that loves me. So when you talk to me, you talking to every one of them. They are connected to me. So everybody that you touch is connected to somebody else. You can be the cause of them having a good day. You can be the cause of them leaving out of this place saying, I feel better than I felt before I came in. Or you can make them say, I feel worse than I ever felt in my life. You can change a person's attitude by how you treat them. Be careful how you treat people. You never know what they're going through. You can say, yeah, well, hell, I'm going through some stuff too. But if you fix their life, he got a way of fixing yours. You mess around and make them smile, for you know it. You smiling too. Have you ever been around some person and they was laughing and you don't even know what they laughing at? And all of a sudden you start laughing too.
If you see them smiling, you smile
see
back.
that. You start smiling too. It's one of those things don't need no conscious language. It's universal. Smile works with any language.
I like the message that you said too, that and don't base it on whether you think you need them or not, or trying to like they're thinking they don't need you. You're not the person they're looking for, so I don't need to smile or say hello because that's not they're
she definitely ain't who I want to see.
Right.
And I am the one. I told them, you see it and you look in, you look, and they do. They come in and they just walk straight past me because they see some white coats down the hall, and they see some doctors standing there, and they don't see a little old black girl sitting there, and and they. Oh, I'm sure she ain't the one finna give it to us. I'm sure she ain't the one, and don't even realize they put me there because they told me, and I told them. They said, well, you ain't going to give them that clinical, but you can give them something else. And so now I tell them, I'm here to give you what you can't get out of a book. Because this stuff you're going to need it on your journey. And I always there's certain things that I stress. And I stress it and because it means to me. I always stress family. I said, do you know that for you to get here, you didn't get it by yourself? If it wasn't nothing just from the fact that your parents finance sacrifices, and if they didn't do nothing else, they prayed. They had a pan and you making it this far. And because of them, you standing on their shoulders. And because you had a little help to get here, you ought to at least be grateful. And that when you come in here, it ought to show up that you had some raising, that you had somebody to pour into you, somebody that love you enough, that put you out there, prayed for you, shared with you, and comfort you, and for you to get here. So many people wish they could, and you got a chance. Be grateful. And not only that, I tells them there was a story in the story about a man. He said he had no mother and he had no father, but he had a momo. And he said he would every day he would cry when he get off the bus because he didn't have nobody. And he said, and his momo was a foster parent that took him and his brother. And he said when they took him in, he said he would cry and he didn't want her to see him cry. So he would wipe them tears and he would suck it up and get off the bus. One day she caught him crying. And she said, son, what's the problem? And he said, well, they say I'm dumb. They said I'll never be nothing. And they talking about me. They mean on that bus. And she looked him dead in his eye. And she said, don't you never, ever let nobody define who you are. Nobody got your DNA. Nobody made just like you. Nobody talk like you, walk like you. Nobody is you. And if you don't show up, then you ain't showing up. Boy, get in there and do and make. And he said, from that day, he said, I had made a conscious decision. It don't matter what the kids say about me no more. It don't matter what they think about me no more. I got to make my mama proud. I got to do something for my mama. And so he said the proudest day of his life is when he walked his mama into her own house. He said, I felt like I had won a lottery. And all I did was bought my mama a house. And he said, and from that day on, it made him realize, and this is what I tell the students. The whole essence of that whole story is never make your life and never make your circle just about you. Don't always take a selfie because when you try to bless somebody else, in the meantime, you'll find yourself getting a blessing too because it ain't all about you. He said, we take too many selfies. It's just if I'm all right, if my kids is all right, if I'm doing it. People say, well, yeah, well, you trying to help somebody else's children and yours is raising a lot of hell. Yeah, but maybe somebody else is trying to help mine. Because maybe I didn't do it for mine. But maybe somebody else's son, maybe somebody else's daughter. I can speak it and somebody else can speak it to mine. You don't never know what this domino effect is coming from. You don't never know where the seed is being planted. You don't never know where it's going to take a hold. Maybe I talked too much and my kids didn't hear it. Maybe they tuned me out and they didn't want to hear it. Maybe somebody said, I never had nobody to talk to me. I never had nobody to speak to me. Maybe they want what you didn't appreciate. Maybe they coming to get what you turned your back on. So every now and then, you just cannot worry about who didn't receive it and who didn't take it. What you do is keep on doing it because you never know. Somebody, a teacher a long time ago, Miss Long, they had gone on. But that teacher put a seed in me. I never got a chance to tell her thank you. But a seed landed on good ground. So how many seeds are you planting and you don't even know if it even grew? All you did was throw the seed.
She threw the seed, and now you have students that
Come
you
on.
share it with every day, and those students are going on and sharing. And so, yes, it you've proven it right here that how that one seed from that one teacher that you now are sharing stories with a bunch of other students who are healing others.
Healing others. And don't you realize that's the kind of doctors that I want to produce? I want to produce some. I told them, even if you don't even really understand it, this is the best rotation. And not because I know it's the best rotation because it's in this building, but I know it because it's dealing with the heart. And I ain't talking about the one that just pumped the blood. I'm talking about that one that runs from heart to heart. That when you receive it, you know how to accept it. That you know how to talk to somebody. You know how to treat somebody. You know how to love somebody. You know how to give when you don't even feel like giving yourself. You know how to help somebody when you're standing on a ledge yourself. So at this point and at this moment, you got to say, I got to give it all I got. Is it going to come back? Is they going to be grateful? Probably not. Do you think they're going to care? Probably not. But at the end of the day, can you look in the mirror and say, Lord, I do what I'm supposed to do today? Am I pleased with what I did? Did I give it my all today, regardless of how it will receive? Knowing that in yourself, you can say, when you look in the mirror, that was okay.
What I love about that is I love that the company you work for realizes the necessity to feed the soul of these students, not just like you say, where it's all clinical and teaching them that you're, it is teaching them, it's something that they can take wherever they go, and it'll change who they are to help them be better doctors. I think that's a very good lesson. I commend them for seeing the need for it.
Oh,
That because as
I'm gonna tell my doctors you said it.
I know I felt a doctor who may have gone through your cycle, but I do know the difference of having one come in there and make you feel calm and not as afraid of what they have to tell you and what they need to, just by their demeanor calming you and being nice to you and feeling like you feel like, okay, you invest them in, maybe they got about 10 other people to see and they got about 5 minutes with you, and but they don't make you feel that way.
Yes, yes,
And how important that is.
it's important.
And I love that they realize that this is needed for them. And so it is, because some companies, it's all about the money and cranking people out to go make them more money, and they're not looking to create the best people to do the best things. So that's very what you can't say where you work.
This is it's such a calm atmosphere. I've been there, and I'm grateful, and I told him, and if I leave today, the only thing I would do is just be
Take your
grateful.
plants.
I
No.
I
I'm
will be
joking.
grateful that I was allowed, to be in a place maybe I wasn't even qualified to be, to do the things
You
that I
qualified.
know I'm unable to do. It just being in a place and a setting. And I'm gonna tell you, when I got there trying to raise kids with what they gave me, I don't ever know nothing but the Lord did it. And so I'm just grateful that I'm in a position to speak to some youth, and I told them it's like the best part of my day is to speak to some youth and tell them, pour into them and let them know that you walk in this and you're not walking this alone, and you're gonna want to give up. And I've never seen a time when so many kids want to commit suicide. And I said, and you just got here, and how is it that you don't even know what the next day gonna bring? You don't know what the next minute, next hour, and how many know that time is such a precious commodity, and you got it and don't even know what to do with it. It's a bad day. What about tomorrow? And what about next week? And next month, next year? You could be right at the edge of a breakthrough and don't even know.
I
So
love that
why
you
would?
work on their mental to help
Oh, God.
uh pull it all together for them, because they
Yes.
may not take a moment to deal with that and realize that they're hurting or feeling alone or feeling like, and they know exactly where to place you to get to the in a place of need, and that is so
I want to
special.
get to the core.
Yes.
I want to get to the core of the matter. And I even tell him, and one of the students that I think about him so often, and he said, my I was finna give it. I had a girlfriend, and she told me she didn't like me because I was a plumber. So I told her I'm gonna be a doctor. And he said when I became a doctor, she quit me. And he said, and it hurted me. And I looked him in his eyes and I said, why you didn't thank her? He said, thank her? What am I gonna thank her for? I said, because she finished her assignment. Don't you realize that there are some people that has been assigned to you? They have been assigned. They said you meet people, they said for a reason, for a lifetime, or just for a season. And some people's come into your life for one of those reasons. And some of them come in there to get you to a place that you would have never got on your own. So after I've gotten you where you're supposed to be, I finished my assignment.
She changed him from a plumber to a
Come on,
doctor.
and now all you got to do is thank me. You did, and I said, now you should have been thanking her. Thank you that you finished your assignment. Thank you that you got out of my life before I started making money. Thank you that now I can buy a house and ain't got to worry about you want to take it. Thank you that now if I have children and now they're gonna be split up. Some things you need to say thank you to something that didn't happen, because if it had happened, sometimes God got to block some stuff. Oh, it's so many, not so many, to make you think I had a lot of men. But it's the men's baby. Now I look and said, I think God blocked it. Don't you know I dodged a bullet? And if he hadn't have blocked it, I would have been fool enough to have went that way. Some stuff has to come in your season just to get you through. Or some come to stay with you for a lifetime.
Like you said, a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Or a lifetime. Know which one. And when these people leave out of your life, don't you get crazy? Give up on life, stop eating. You just got indigestion or whatever. Go eat. Don't give up. Somebody leave you. It was just your season. Thank you. This was just for the moment. My harvest is finna get greater. You was blocking what's the name said it? He said, you got a jalopy in your garage. You need to move it so you can put another car in there. You got something waiting, and you got this junk standing in your driveway. Sometimes you need to move some stuff to make room for what is before you and to be prepared for it. It is a prepared people for a prepared season. So you need to know your season, know your harvest, and what is you planting and what seed are you using. You needs to know what your energy is, who's taken from your energy, who zap you of everything that you got to give. Because trust me, it's in you to give it. All you need to know is, am I in the right place for somebody to deserve it? No. You ask yourself, they say, oh, we talk about it all the time. They talk about me being single. It is never an issue with me, never a problem. And I can say that why ain't nobody here to tell me otherwise. Who wouldn't want to be with somebody? Who wouldn't want to be two? When God said that is the way I send you out in twos, because Solomon said when you two, you can keep each other warm. You know Solomon he's a bad man. If one is cold, the other can make you warm. Hey, I like
the Bible.
Come on, if you go, we can warm some stuff up.
I'm gonna read Solomon, y'all.
And I
Bible study tonight.
Come on, no, that's right. I'm telling you, he said it too. So who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want to, to come in and rub your face and get them warm? Who wouldn't want to have somebody that just is waiting on you to say, honey, welcome home. Gets good. Who wouldn't want that? But you got to be in all your states, how to be content, how to be able to be in and out, how to love it when you're in and love it when you ain't, love it when you got it and love it when you ain't got it. So you got to know, and only you will know that. Oh, you up here worrying about he left you. It was just his season. Be grateful and say, you know what? It must be a Porsche on my way. It must be something in the driveway. It's coming my way. Don't get excited. Don't get mad. Don't confuse. Don't get no gun. Don't slash the tires.
So they're not blocking your blessings.
They ain't block your blessings. I'm not. You trying to keep something. What God is telling you, that is season is past. I got a harvest for you waiting. It's a harvest. And so whoever is coming into anybody's life, especially mine, I know what a harvest look like. I know what love look like. I know what a blessing look like. I know what it is. And maybe he had to prepare me. So now he probably preparing me because I ain't ready.
You say you're not ready.
I ain't ready.
And you know it will come when he wants it to come. And you are okay with that.
I'm okay.
It's there for you, and it's gonna come when he knows you're ready for it.
Girl, don't you know that don't you realize when you in your best is when you can have peace in the midst of a confusion. He said, I give you peace that surpasses your own understanding. You don't even understand how you got peace. You don't even understand how you getting up in the morning. You don't even know how you laughing and having all this fun. You don't need, how you laughing and you ain't got nobody. How are you going through all this? You don't even know. The reason you don't know is because I give you peace. And this peace you can't understand. You don't even know this peace. And the only person can give you that type of peace is that light that give you the water that runs, that'll never make you thirst. That's the only way you're going to get it. And the only way you're going to get it, you got to know it. Know your season. Know when you is in a dry spell. Knowing when I got to get there. And some people say, yeah, I just get it from home, laying in bed. No, I want to get, he said, come, he said, when they had the covenant and when they had the tabernacle, he said, come to the foot of my presence. Oh, I got to get there. I got to go to church because I know if he might be in my bedroom, he might be in my backyard, he might be on the corner, he might be coming through the TV, but I want to go where I know his presence is supposed to be. So I go to the footprints of his church, and at his church, this is where he said, I make my house. And in his, my house is a house of bread. You ain't gonna have to go hungry. My house is a rock. It don't fall. It don't cave. It don't get dust. I come to the house. So I go to the house. I know I got to find you there. And he's already there. I just got to go there. He already in the building. I just got to get there. So when I get there, I just go there and get what's for me. Because it's already there. I just go there to get it. I promise you, I love everybody for tuning in to Miss Vee and the crew. They coming back. I mean, hey. But I promise you, thank Wanda so much for standing in. She did what she did. She know what to do, how to do it, because this is what she do every day. So Wanda, I appreciate you for standing in and being who you is.
I learned something today. I got something to be grateful for. I'm gonna go home and sit in my water, sunlight, and be happy where it's green and growing at.
Come on, girl, come on. And you always are spreading some seeds. Keep on doing that great work. Spread these seeds and just keep on watering it. Keep on letting people know that there is a podcast. And these podcasts is designed to educate you, to motivate you, and to make you feel like you are somebody, because you are. Be blessed. Have a great night. Come on back next week and just stay tuned to Miss Vee and her crew. You're not even trying to